Spoilers ahead. Watch out and take care. The movie begins in a prison where chaos breaks out and Chan Ho Ching, a professional prisoner and fugitive on a 3-month jail term for stealing, leads his 2 other colleagues to try and escape the prison by picking up a lock with some bubblegum and a small piece of wood. From here flashback begins. One day at prison, Chan's mom and his girlfriend pay him a visit. They welcome him to his mother's 60th birthday, which he plans to attend after his release. He then tells them that life in prison is like a vacation for him, unlike the newbie beside him, who is later beaten up by other inmates led by Scar, the second most powerful inmate who is in for lifetime and does anything. Later, Scar's mob and the newbie are summoned by the warden Tang, the most powerful man around, who is finally getting a promotion after 30 years of service. Warden Tang offers the inmates a cup of coffee and asks them to maintain peace for the next 3 months before his promotion. Later, the guards walk in, Lam Kwok alias Big Roller, who was the most powerful before the warden helped Scar grow stronger. Chan then shows the newbie Mac, who is an architect around the workshop, and tells him not to worry about Scar if he is on Big Roller's side, but asks him not to mention Big Roller's family or daughter who died. He then introduces Mac to Big Roller. However, Big Roller recognizes him as the engineer who caused a fire in one of his constructions, and they beat him up. Later, Chan's girlfriend visits him again with the sad news that his mother has kidney failure, which doesn't look good at her age, and needs a kidney transplant from her relative, and she storms away, leaving Chan shocked. Chan then explains the dire situation to the warden and asks for a leave, but Tang asks him to wait for 3 months or get himself out if he can, and then punishes Chan with laps for calling him selfish. When he is tired, he tries to climb the fence, but a guard stops him. Meanwhile, newbie Mac tries to end his life due to the harassment of Big Roller, but Chan stops him and tells him how he watched a worker in the building climb down to a manhole on the storage room, which can let outside. Mac also explains how he was framed for accepting bribes and now only wishes to leave the hard prison life. Wing, the man who framed Mac, also visits him, but Mac threatens he will file an appeal and leave. Chan also guides him about the dos and don'ts in prison, and Mac explains how he was framed. Chan, on the other hand, states that he treats his short time in as a vacation, since life outside is more difficult with the rents and all that. The next day, Scar threatens Mac with a message from his framer Wing, asking him not to file the appeal. Mac also finds out that the fire from the construction burned Big Roller's daughter's belongings, hence Big Roller's anger towards him. Scar also continues to threaten Mac for the appeal case, while he is also weary of Big Roller's harassment. Chan then encourages him to plan his own path out to escape prison, and Mac begins to figure out the drainage system and its layout below the prison that the workers use to get out from here. To avoid the security cameras, Mac suggests they move through the vents above them, however, which requires cooperation from Big Roller to access his room. The next scene, Big Roller explains how he was sentenced for manslaughter, but is now lucky that the man who burned his daughter's belongings came to him in prison. He also recalls how some bandits attacked them and hurt her daughter, but he killed them, and now in prison, his wife blames him for their daughter's death. Later, to convince Big Roller to help them, Mac and Chan show Big Roller pictures of his grown-up daughter, and Chan explains how he investigated and found out that Big Roller's daughter emigrated when little, but has recently returned to Hong Kong and is soon getting married. He asks for access to his room, but Big Roller faints in shock, and he later, realizing that his daughter is alive, he decides to escape with the two to attend her wedding. They plan how to escape through the vents, switching off the lights, and after the alarm starts, they plan to escape through the tunnel and meet Chan's girlfriend, who will be waiting outside. Mac invents a method to open up the screws, but a guard interrupts them. Scar later attempts to threaten Mac again over the appeal case, but this time Big Roller stops him, stating that now Mac is on his team. Later, Chan uses his theft skills and replicates a door key from a guard. In the evening, they bring together the required keys and tools and plans how to escape after the roll call on the Mid-Autumn Festival. Later, the warden summons Scar and Big Roller and he plans for a one-on-one fight between the two bosses to solve their conflict. The two exchange blows and Big Roller wins after breaking Scar's arm. Now with a black eye, Big Roller explains how tough it is to being a parent. Mac also takes Big Roller's advice to not leave the prison, but instead wait for his appeal, but vows to still help the two. Warden later puts in Scar with Big Roller at the workshop so he could sniff out what he and his gang are up to after an intel report how Big Roller sent him to get a glue for his glasses. The guards then arrive at the workshop for a checkup on the inmates and notices Chan is missing. At this time, Chan is inside the vent, cutting off some steel rods which is on their way. The warden also asks Scar for intel on Big Roller's goings, but he instead praises Big Roller and his team's good work. He then storms into Big Roller's room, but finds a cunning Chan sleeping and the guards leave. Later, Scar shows the three their strange key which he found, and Chan claims he was stealing meat. However, Scar finds out that they are trying to break out and keeps their key. Mac continues to study the vents. Scar joins the team and Big Roller works out while looking at her daughter's picture. Following this, on Mid-Autumn Festival, Chairman Ho visits Warden Tang and wishes the inmates a happy celebration and for them to be released soon. Later that night, Chan's girlfriend positions herself outside the prison while the inmates are feasting. Mac wishes good luck to the three accomplices and they begin to move. They opened a door with the key they've made earlier and went further. An inmate reports to the warden about their suspicious movements while the three crawl through the vent. The warden finds the vent doors at Big Roller's room opened and asks the guards to secure all exits and asks them not to sound the alarm since the chairman is around. Scar and Chan then try to switch off the lights, but it fails. Meanwhile, realizing that the guards are chasing his friends, Mac starts chaos among the inmates. Chan then forcefully cuts the power cables, but only the alarm goes off. They then continue marching through the vents and ignoring the cameras, they jump out the vent and run to the storage room, and the warden sees them. Chan tries to pick the door with the help of some bubblegum and a small piece of wood, but Scar quarrels with Big Roller over who remains and they start to fight. However, Mac appears out of nowhere and knocks out Scar, saving the situation. Chan unlocks the door and they head to the storage room while the guards hunt them down. Mac then decides to go back to hold off the guards and meets with the warden who hits his head. Chan sees this and heads to help out Mac. Big Roller manages to open the passage, but the others urge him to go alone while they fight off the warden. Big Roller went inside the tunnel and went outside and meets Chan's girlfriend, who is disappointed not seeing Chan, and a guard finds them. However, Chan's girlfriend knocks him out and they leave together. Later, Big Roller crashes into his daughter's wedding and finds his wife who isn't pleased to see him and says her daughter doesn't need him anymore. However, he insists and gets the chance to see her walk down the aisle. Her daughter gives a speech and appreciates her mom for taking care of her, and Big Roller claps with the audience and later turns to leave. However, her daughter adds her dad to her list of important people while stating that her dad had passed away, but she still remembers his fearless love while Big Roller sheds tears. While leaving the ceremony, his daughter notices a smiley sauce left on her plate by her father. Meanwhile, as the warden and injured inmates are being carried to hospital, Chan asks the doctors to donate his kidney to her sick mother. The police officers arrest Big Roller outside the wedding hall, while Chan regrets not being with her mom. Big Roller then realizes that family is the most important thing, and Mac is happy to have met two reliable friends. A few months later, Chan's mom and his girlfriend visit him in prison, and he asks his mom to rest and heal with her new kidney, and asks his girlfriend to take care of her. Meanwhile, Big Roller also gets a visit from his daughter and wife who are now moving back to Hong Kong so that they could see him more often, and he offers to make them furniture from his new skills. Later, Mac's framer Wing also gets imprisoned, and Mac and his friends find him tensed, but Mac only takes his cigarettes and leaves, while they joke about his fear. Scar also asks Wing to pay him, but he refuses and they take him away and leave the others playing basketball. The end. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you'd like to see more videos update. Like, share and turn on notification to help the channel.